Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP. Mainly we are going to be talking about the major warning signs. So in terms of warning signs, this is not a bearish video at all. I just want to say right now, a lot of things that are happening in the real world will most likely play into the idea of crypto adoption and acceptance. Now, with the market right now, the settlement is fairly bullish now because we just broke around 50K. In my mind, I don't think that we flip bullish just yet on Bitcoin until we're around like 53.5K. I've been saying about 53K for a fairly long time now, since we've seen this drop. And this is pretty much the bullish sentiment where I will say, all right, now we're pretty good for, the next major leg up. Now, I am watching Ethereum closely as Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin on the 24-hour span, and on the 7-day span, you do see the losses a lot more significant on Bitcoin. Also, dominance on Ethereum has been rising significantly, and that is very bullish for us as we do watch, pretty much the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4 of alt season kind of play out. Now, we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about XRP as well. Not bullish on XRP until we're over 85 cents. 85 cents is the major demand zone that we want to be back over, and I believe that that comes with 53K on Bitcoin. So I am bullish on that to be seen very soon. But until we do see those levels, downside is not limited at all. Now, I will say this, a major warning sign. Everybody is so excited about ISO 222 and all these major tokens. For example, ISO 222 is a global standardized payment messaging service already adopted in over 70 countries. In Q4 2022, it goes live. Now, when we're talking about XRP, XLM, ALGO, IOTA, all these other coins that are mentioned here, because we do talk about other assets as well, like QNT, HBAR, and stuff like that. But what we talk about is this new system. But in order to get into this new system, what needs to happen? The old system needs to collapse. And we're actually kind of seeing that unfold right before our eyes right now, with inflation possibly getting to the step of hyperinflation. Now, I will say this. There is a major warning out there. Yes, we are still in a bull market. In my mind, we are easily still in a bull market. And I know for a lot of people, it's hard to accept the fact that we're in a bull market. They still think that Bitcoin's going to go down to 20K. And so, and like I said, I even said it myself, okay, with Bitcoin, we could still see about 40.8K tested if, and I say if very, very strongly, pretty much the markets allow it. And when I say the markets, I mean the U.S., stock market. So, downside is not limited just yet. I want 53K. That's the validation point. And we don't have to go much lower than our low that we currently printed, but the 40.8K mark, or pretty much 41K mark, would pretty much be a major demand zone. But I believe that the low could possibly be in if we could, gain those levels. But with what's happening, I suspect that we will be seeing, a major drop in stocks. In fact, if we look here, CEOs and insiders sell a record $69 billion of their stock, and the year isn't over yet. And we do see here CEOs and corporate insiders have sold a record $69 billion in stock in 2021 as looming tax hikes and lofty share prices encourage many to take profits. As of Monday, sales by insiders are up 30% from 2020 to $69 billion and up 79% versus a 10-year average according to Insider Score. The selling is likely to increase even more as December is often an active month for sales due to tax planning. And I suspect that we will see some sells like that, but it's not going to be a major problem, but they could also you could also argue the fact that they might be seeing something that is coming that we don't know about. What could that essentially be? Well, it's overall debt ceilings needing to be rose because of inflation rates and mass spending. But we're also seeing a lot of things flow throughout this entire market, right? We're seeing, even in terms of crypto, right? We see it everywhere as well. We see it in stocks. We see it in the commodities market. We see it in pretty much every market out there. Margin debt nearing all-time highs. Household debt at record highs. National debt at record highs. Companies have sold over $455 billion of bonds with junk credit ratings this year, which is record. The Federal Reserve balance sheet has gone parabolic, surprised with inflation. And that is the case, right? I just got gas the other day. I paid almost $100 to fill my gas tank, went out to eat. It was over $100 to eat. I mean, the prices are getting fairly outrageous with a lot of things, and it's due to spending. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to crash the markets. No, I think that crypto is the perfect market to be in to actually hedge against inflation if you are staking and stuff like that. We're going to be talking about that. And we also see here IMF urges the Fed to speed up monetary policy tightening amid mounting inflation fears. And of course, earlier this week, Fed Chairman Jerome Powell said that the central bank could step up its tapering efforts and that this would likely be discussed at a meeting this month. Data released in November showed that the U.S. Consumer Price Index rose 6.2% in October from a year ago, hitting its highest level in 30 years. But the Fed has said market players shouldn't interpret tapering as a sign of an immediate rate hike. And that's the thing, right? If we're talking about imminent market crashes or anything like that, tapering would be that thing that makes these markets kind of crash. We've talked about this, we've discussed this as well, and of course for this year, the Fed won't, raise rates till 2024 at the earliest. If that's the case, inflation is going to get extremely worse. And when we're talking about the prices per, for a gallon of milk or, a carton of eggs or something, they're going to be absolutely ridiculous because in my mind, inflation is much higher than they let out to be. Now, also, we do see our market wrap. Higher inflation expected to send Bitcoin and gold higher into the end of the year. Bitcoin hit an all-time high Wednesday before falling back. Now, this goes back to November 10th, so just be aware of that. But we also do see a lot of hedges against inflation. We see people buying silver. We see people buying gold. We see people, throwing their money into pretty much anything that they possibly could get their hands on that is possibly deflationary. Now, in my mind, I think crypto is the best hold against inflation. Now, I'm not saying go ahead and hold during the bear market, accept the losses either. But I'm just saying invest, sell, reinvest. It's as simple as that. I mean, that's the crypto, flow chart in my mind. Now, we also are seeing here so much for fixing supply chains. A record 96 container ships are waiting to dock at SoCal ports. And like I said, this is only going to get worse and worse. I've talked to you guys about this in the past, probably like about a month ago or so. But in terms of the supply chain problem, that is going to continue to rise and rise and rise in a problematic state. We are going to see a lot of things happen with supply chains that are going to also, not help in terms of the inflationary prices either. Inflation plus these, major demands of supply chain problems is going to send a lot of product prices extremely high. Electronics are definitely one of them. Now, with all of this in mind, what are we waiting for? What are we waiting for in terms of the market? Is the market going to crash or is it going to pump extremely hard? Well, in my mind, I suspect that we are in phase 2 or getting close to phase 2 in terms of alt season. A lot of people think that we could pump into like September of 2022. 360 Trader himself says this. In my mind, I think that we are about 6 months away from the major point of relief throughout this entire market. I've said around May. The middle of May is pretty much a key sign. And trust me, I don't want to wait until 2022 either, but there is good pros and cons with this. Cons, we don't make our money immediately. Pros, we sell in 2022, we don't have to pay taxes on it until 2023, and we make a ton of money. Now, with this flowchart, okay, we are talking about phase 2. The reason why I'm talking about phase 2 and the reason why I'm bringing up phase 2 is, first off, check out Ethereum, okay? Ethereum right now is not crazy in terms of price or anything like that, but I will say this. If we're checking out the percentage gains, we are outperforming Bitcoin ever so slightly. But the best part about Ethereum isn't the Ethereum USD chart. It's actually the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. Look at how extremely strong this is. Now, the major signs of resistance are around the 0.08 sat level, but check out this chart. We are at highs. First off, let's go to the weekly chart. We are at highs going all the way back. I mean, we broke out of the May 10th point of this year alone. But also, if we look back in the past and we go back to the 2017-2018 bull run, here's where a lot of the prices were going parabolic, pretty much in December and January. We are well above the January highs right now, which is crazy to say the least. Ethereum is extremely strong. And again, in terms of Ethereum dominance, we are seeing Ethereum dominance rising and rising and rising day by day. In fact, we are much higher than Ethereum dominance was back in the 2017 and 2018 bull run. Of course, we still have to go to this high up here, but this is pretty much when all of the altcoins were pretty much already topped out. So Ethereum, in my mind, is extremely strong. And the reason why I say, the reason why I say phase 2 is nearly upon us, which is going to cause a massive parabolic run across the board for a lot of altcoins, including our lovely friend XRP. But the reason why I say that we're close to phase 2 is because we are seeing a lot of articles come out like this. Ethereum about to go parabolic against Bitcoin as analysts weigh Bitcoin bear case. And of course, they are talking more so about Ethereum Bitcoin stays near its highest since 2018, but that's nothing compared to the next move, one trader believes. And we are seeing, a possible... I've seen a lot of people call for some crazy price targets on Ethereum. I mean, we've seen like 20K, 50K. I mean, it's actually pretty crazy nonetheless. But overall, we're looking here and we're reading this bear case, right? Bear case. Price action looks like a failed macro breakout. Still need to reclaim 60 to 61K. And then we also see excluding CME and perp of near all-time highs in USD and Bitcoin terms, regime of positive premium / funding, LS ratio with no retest. Now, we've talked about the open interest problem. We've talked about the open interest problem in the live stream from, I want to say 2 days ago now. We also see funds sitting on large UPNLs for 2021, macro uncertainty, and then, of course, over collateralization is happening throughout the market. But in terms of what's happening, I think that this last major flush was very good for us. I think that it was... honestly speaking, I think that it was the most major healthy pretty much point of the market that we've seen in a fairly long time, going back to like around May and June. We've discussed that. But also, in terms of Ethereum, is Ethereum ready to go to the next state? Is it ready to go to possibly 10K? However, pretty much high people have been calling for, like 10 to 20K. In my mind, I think that we're around like maybe the 8 to 10K mark. I think that that's pretty much a good point to look at. But of course, could we go higher? Yeah, sure, we could. Now, I will say this. Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to be the major show stopper for us to pretty much analyze and look at altcoins to see how high they could actually go. Now, like I said, open interest was pretty much a major crash that caused us to pretty much go lower. It was the liquidity hunting that I've called for a little bit of time. Now, with this, of course, we look at more things, right? Can Ethereum top, Bitcoin? And of course, we've been hearing a lot of signs about, possibly, Ethereum topping Bitcoin, pretty much replacing Bitcoin, pretty much running well above it. In my mind, I think that this leads us all the way back to, like I said, phase 2. And this was not the only thing. We also see our market wrap. Bitcoin extends losses while traders remain bullish on Ethereum. Like I said, I think there's a lot more talks within Ethereum that's going to happen very, very soon. I think that a lot of people are probably going to say, all right, yeah, I think it's time for Ethereum to flip Bitcoin. And I think that once that does happen, that is going to be extremely bullish. I talked about this on my channel, or on my Twitter on my channel as well. But we talked about Ethereum possibly flipping Bitcoin. And if that does happen and the dominance for Ethereum is extremely high, utility tokens are going to go crazy. Now, we also see here, new study says that Ethereum may become a better inflation hedge over Bitcoin. Now, of course, this was 4 days ago. What are we seeing throughout the entire market? What are we seeing throughout the entire world? Inflation rates rising extremely high. Now, of course, we just hear Bitcoin's returns over the past couple of years have been far greater than the rate of inflation, which currently sits at over 6% and is predicted to grow even more in the coming months. Of course, it is. Now, why is Ethereum a better hedge fund, or not a hedge fund, hedge against inflation? Overall, when we're talking about what's happened throughout this entire market, we have been seeing a lot of adoption for Ethereum. They're even saying here, this has driven crypto adoption as individuals and institutions flock to take advantage on their return rate. And we have seen hedge funds actually accept a lot of crypto as well and putting the crypto on their balance sheet. Now, like I said, they're looking more so at the upgrade to Ethereum 2.0 that is scheduled to take place sometime in 2022. I think that that's going to get pushed on a little bit more. I think that that's not going to be a big concern. Now, we do see here inflation is driving the crypto market. Is it possibly doing that? Yeah, I mean, it could be. People want to put their money into this market. Now, like I said, I suspect that staking is actually the major hedge against crypto or in inflation in crypto, because when you're staking something and earning 20% yield on it, that's significant. That's protecting you against inflation. That's at 6%, 10%, 15%. And in my mind, I think that we do get to some major high levels on inflation. I think that hyperinflation is not even here yet. But of course, in terms of this, I think all of this is playing key into the idea of collapsing the old system so that we can get on with the new system that's happening in 2022. I think 2022 is the most bullish sentiment point for this entire market, especially with XRP. We've talked about some high grade targets for XRP being around like $10 to $15. In my mind, I think that around $10 to $13 is a pretty good point to kind of get out and sell. That's just my overall opinion. Now, of course, you guys don't need to sell your crypto. Like I said, it's in my mind, I think that selling crypto and rebuying it during the bear market is the best way to do it. It's kind of pretty much to alleviate the overall idea of just holding your original bag when you could pretty much up it like 3, 4, 5x. That's the main point of success, is buying during the bear market, not holding through the bear market. So in my mind, I will be selling XRP and I will be rebuying it. It's not going to happen overnight where XRP is going to shoot to $589 like everybody's saying, but I will say this. If we repeat the 2017-2018 bull run, which we've talked about multiple times on this channel, I'm going to get extremely bullish on XRP because I'm going to be selling at least around the $10 to $13 range, and a 90% correction is going to allow for us to really capitalize on some major gains, as well as to capitalize on making sure our bag gets way heavier. That way, for the next market, update, it could be, for an example, a utility-driven market, XRP is going to make us extremely rich. So with that in mind, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys don't want free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.